Hey, it's Chris Byer.
Chris Bowling. How are you,
CD, we
CD?
got a special guest today.
We do. Thank you, Josh, for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate being here.
Josh, you want to give a little background to what you do with the Galesburg Community Foundation? I know you've just celebrated your 15th anniversary, but I'll let you talk a little bit about who you are and
I
background.
did. Yeah, sure. Thank you. So my name's Josh Gibb. I am the president and CEO of the Galesburg Community Foundation, which not sure who would actually pick this up, but Galesburg, sort of west central Illinois, about 45 minutes from the Mississippi River, 45 minutes from Peoria. So great little community right here in Knox County. Community Foundation serves both Knox and Warren County.
Excellent. So, I mean, when you talk about community foundation, how do you serve the community? Because, there might be people that know of community foundations or different things within their local area, but what does GCF do that's unique in supporting Knox and Warren counties?
Yeah. So for those, I would be surprised if there was a lot of people who knew what a community foundation was.
And that's why we're asking.
Yeah. So community foundations are geographically placed public foundations that have a goal of building permanent endowment, working with a variety of either organizations, people, or businesses. And so we kind of provide an umbrella over what, again, all of those potential entities and individuals might have in terms of a vision for philanthropy.
Right.
But the difference is permanently endowment, permanently endowed. We take someone's gift, we really combine it with everybody else's gifts, and then we manage both the financial component of the gift and the charitable interest of the gift. So, like, let's say for a church or your favorite nonprofit organization, right, they are really good at being a church, or they're really good at being a food pantry, or they're really good at being insert whatever it is they're really good at being at. They might not be good at accepting appreciated stock or right, physical assets, commercial property, ag land, grain. The community foundation can do that for them and then give them the revenue stream that was intended to go to them. So then a donor can work with us to be able to support the thing that matters the most to them. And then that organization doesn't have to build the skill sets necessary to accept those types of things. We really do it for them. So community foundations exist all across the country. There are 800 plus across the country, probably 40 ish, 45 in the state of Illinois.
Oh, so you said something interesting. People could donate farm ground and grain. That's pretty unique to rural Illinois. Right. But it's the same thing. How do people contribute some sort of financial, donation of some sort to help the organizations they care about? I think that's really cool.
Yeah, and we say anything that has value can be donated, right? Sure. So we're not really in the business of taking timeshares, just to sort of throw that out there.
But nobody wants that.
Nobody does.
But people have artwork, art has a value. People have around here, right? Land and grain. We actually started a conversation with somebody about an airplane once. We never accepted it, but there's value in things, and if people want to give those away to support the causes they care about, a community foundation is a great place to start a conversation.
So
that's great.
What kind of local successes have you seen?
So our community foundation is almost 20 years old now. Wow. And so I think there's been a lot of things that you could point to for success, but because we work with so many people, it's difficult, I think, probably like to just narrow it down. Sure. Right. What was really successful for this individual might not mean anything to this organization. Right. But in the time that the community foundation has existed in here in Galesburg and Knox and Warren counties, we've gone from 0 funds, so 0 people that we're working with, to 150 permanently endowed funds, resources that'll never leave this area. Yeah, always connected to these charitable purposes. I mean, I think that's a success. We've invested more than probably $15 million in grants to organizations.
And that's a huge impact when you look at nonprofits that are trying to source funding in a small rural community. I mean, that makes a huge impact.
Yeah, and again, for the people who might be paying attention to this, like we're talking 70,000 people sort of in the area in which we serve. And that's the beauty about community foundations. We're not necessarily working with the billionaires of the world. We're not working with Bezos. We're not, we're not, Oprah's never called,
Yet.
Once he sees this, you never know.
I'll take her call, or Bezos's call. But the point is, we work with people who care about this community. We work with people from this community. We work with philanthropy. Philanthropy is not high dollar amounts. Philanthropy is the expression of someone wanting to help somebody else, and that's what a community foundation.
Well said.
Does.
Well said.
So if somebody wanted to get connected with you, I mean, you talked about donating those different items of value. I know we'll have another discussion coming up in part 2 where we talk through more of what we're seeing in the rural communities as far as wealth and how that gets passed through. But somebody's just wanting to start getting involved in a philanthropic effort in their community. They want to get connected with you. How do we do that?
Yeah. So, I mean, in all the normal ways that people are throwing themselves out there to connect, right? But what we prefer, what we would love to have is an opportunity just to sit down and talk. I think a lot of people don't understand or know they can do. We talk to a lot of people who come in and they say, we'd really like to start a scholarship fund. And then we start talking about what their real goal is and how they want it to work and who they want to support and all the things that are required when you set up a scholarship fund. And they're like, well, maybe I don't want to do that. And then and we give them an idea of what they could do. And they're like, oh yeah, we really want to do that. Because everybody who starts a scholarship fund wants the person they give the scholarship to fall in love with their hometown because someone in the hometown cared about them. And that's very true. Those are true statements. Someone in the hometown did care about them and wants them to have an affordable education. But the idea of them coming back, the idea of them choosing, like the town I grew up in, Roseville, or choosing, Galesburg, or choosing one of these towns within
just by giving that donation doesn't mean that somebody's automatically going to come back. So,
so
like you said, it might be better served in another aspect to support the growth of the community itself. Yeah.
So so then we have those conversations about, hey, did you think about, or did you know that this was going on? So anyone can email or find us on social media or all of those things.
Yeah, and we'll tag you as well.
Yeah, but really just sitting down, giving us a call, and letting us have a conversation to understand more about what they desire their philanthropic efforts to be, or to accomplish. That's the best way to connect with a community foundation.
Love it.
Excellent. Well, Josh, as we finish up part 1, I'm going to let Chris ask his favorite question.
So
be prepared.
You've had that day, and maybe it's a good day, maybe it's a bad day, but do you have a motto? Do you have a quote that kind of gets you through that day?
That gets me through that day. Well, I have one that's probably more true, but the one that's appropriate.
Yes.
A motto that I have is listen to what I meant. I had a grandmother who I one time corrected because she said something wrong, and she said, listen to what I meant. And at the time I'm like, oh, grandma. But now in the job that I do and sort of the world that we live in, I think we would all be well served to listen to what other people are trying to say, and listen in a way to actually understand. So listen to what I meant.
Yeah, I think that's
very good.
Said.
That's a good summary, Josh.
And my wife will say that. What was their intention? If their intention was cruel, then yes. But if their intention was good-hearted, move on, right?
Yeah. Well, Josh, thanks for joining us in Focus. We'll be excited to go for round number 2 coming up soon.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right, we'll see you.
Bye.